of these things. So they face a lot of pushback. The monetary policy, on the other hand, does not need to get any approval. The decision as to where to set out interest rates, set up exchange rate, so they are more effective. You see, so the more independent and autonomous an arm of government is, the more efficient that arm of government is likely to be and effective. So what you have to understand is that in terms of this austerity and there's stimulus, in terms of austerity, what has happened so far? How are you reducing one, nominal expenditure? How are you increasing effective expenditure that is getting the return? And how are you controlling invisible expenditure? That is what the Ministry of Finance, Minister Ngozi and Minister Yarima have been working towards. There's a lot of work to be done, but that's part of it. But, you know. There's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work. Just hold that thought. We're going to be back. And when we come back, for example, in the executives, there is a certain amount that is budgeted for servicing the presidential fleet. For example, we hardly know about how much our public officers earn. Is this normal in a society where we are being governed by constitution, by law? Aren't we supposed to know what these things are supposed to be in the public space? And we who are paying taxes supposed to be informed about some of these issues. We are talking about cost of governance in Nigeria. And I have with me Mr. Bismarck Pt.4, a financial analyst who has been breaking this issue down. We're expecting Dr. Reuben Abati to join us, and also a member of the House of Representatives. We're still expecting them. If they will, fine. If they are not, then we'll continue. And you can also be a part of the discussion on this program at Sheon Okin on Twitter and Politics Today at channelstv.com. We'll take a short break, and when we return, more insight on how we are being governed and how much it costs us to govern Nigeria. Join us again. Hey, chicken, look at hey. See, I want you to salad. You want try? Oh yeah, now load the credit, make you see something. Hey? Oh boy, come. What did that happen? I load 200 naira, but now 400 naira credit they give me. Me I load 500 naira just now. They give me 1,000 naira. Oh boy, I load 1,000 naira. They still 2,000 naira credit. Guys, take a easy, take a easy. See, it is like they double any recharge of 200 naira and above for new customers. And their Wolf credit will last you reach 7 days. So if I recharge 10 times in a day, they will knock you double 10 times. Buy your own Etisalat SIM today. Begin recharge, make yourself start today. Enjoy this double Wolf to call all network.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Every day you invite us to your home. Now we invite you to our homepage. Join Channels TV on social media. Hang out with us on Google Plus/Channels Television. Follow us on Twitter.com/Channels TV_NG. Friend us on Facebook.com/Channels Forum. And don't forget to like our page. That's not all. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. YouTube.com/Channels Web to get constant video updates on news and events in Nigeria and around the world. ChannelsTV.com, the news at your fingertips.
Thank you for staying with us here on Politics Today on Channels Television. Today, the cost of governance in Nigeria is getting us talking. And Dr. Obi Ezekwesili was the one who raised this issue earlier in the week. He's been what has been in the front burner for a lot of Nigerians in time past. But this time around, when Dr. Ezekwesili, the former Minister of Education, raised this issue at a lecture earlier in the week, a lot of people reacted to it. Dr. Ezekwesili actually challenged people in governance to a debate where the House of Representatives has accepted that they are ready to talk. Well, on this challenge is what our discussion also is premised tonight, and we're discussing just how much it costs us to run government when lives are being run with little amount in Nigeria. A lot of people are virtually living in penury. We can do better. That's what the financial expert I have in the studio has been telling me. Mr. Bismarck Pt.4. Thank you for joining us. Just before we get talking again, let me just say some of the thoughts of some of the people who are tweeting and sending their emails to us. Jenny Pitty says, taxpayers should know that what public office holders earn in a democratic setting like ours, and I don't know why it should be made secret. Also, Promise says, it's illegal and evil. That's what it says. And also, what is the Alkali Maman said that okay, that's is just retweeting what I said. Again, we have Anagbado Chigoze who is saying we are just ineffective and inefficient in Nigeria, especially the public sector. Too many hands for one pot of soup. Kojo Mensa sounds like a Ghanaian who is watching the program. The point has been made that our GDP growth is premised upon increased crude output and rising oil prices and not any government policy. Osilalu Ademuyiwa says, if I have my way, I'll become a governor today without being paid salary because I know how fat my salary will be. That's actually very interesting. Alkali Mama says the executive on their own part should implement Steve Oronsaye report. We have duplications of parastatals. Nelson Aguirre says, I agree with the analysis of Mr. Ruwani over Texas' cost of governance and Nigeria's cost of governance. Nigeria must cut costs. Alkali Mama also tweeted and says, when a senator has 5'8", the drivers, 10 mobile policemen, and not including the one in their residence. Well, Michael Johnson, the last one, he says, in a country like Nigeria, why can't we probe the legislature while in office? Well, these are some of the thoughts. You can keep them coming. We'll take some of them if we can on the program. And I'm still talking with Mr. Bismarck Pt.4. Can you tell us, in the executive arm of government, we have in the list of 36 ministers in the president's cabinet, we have personal assistants, 42 ministers. Yeah. We have personal assistants. We have drivers. They have, I guess, more than one vehicles that run them.
Special advisors as well.
Special advisors. 2 ministers. The presidents who have special advisors, senior special assistants. The governors also to have this. All of these things. What are your views about all of this?
It comes back to the basic theory of economics, law of diminishing marginal returns. Too many people in a room will get in the way of each other. So there has to be more efficiency. However, I don't want us to deceive ourselves that even if the government becomes efficient, that the Nigerian economic problem is resolved. This inefficiency is partly cultural in the sense that we've come to accept overemployment of people. We've come to accept low productivity as a norm. So you have inefficiency and then you have corruption, right? And then you have the invisible leakages. Now, what we need to do is to ensure that the entire Nigerian corporate entity, both corporate and government, comes together to work. Look, there are 157 private jets in Nigeria, while general aviation has about something like 40 jets. Right? General aviation has about 40 jets transporting the entire population of Nigeria, while there are about 157 private jets transporting 157 individuals. So you're talking about private jets. Private jets, the corporate and private sector are guilty in terms of using that. They need it, but how many private jets are used in the United States of America? How many? Right? So when you take the Forbes list of richest men in the world, right? You have to imagine that, and how many are we having here? So there's a lot of extravagance. There's a lot of low productivity. And there's no point just blaming. The government has 3 arms: executive, judicial, and legislative. And also, in the corporate sector, there's also a lot of waste. There's state governments, there are local governments, there are all sorts of things. So the entire Nigerian entity has to come together and say, okay, do we want to be efficient, and how do we go about efficiency?
I mean, compared to what we're privatizing almost every aspect of the Nigerian life now, the way the ministers run, do you think this actually can be applicable in private sector.